Listen to me. Listen to me. You think it's easy? It's not easy. What do you think, huh? What do you think the ice people do? Not in my house. Not in my backyard. This is the ice people's house now. Only here in America. All I do is think about this. You call me Mr. Ice. I don't like it.
Welcome, 300 Seconds with Mr. Ice. We are here today, Wednesday afternoon. Terrible loss last night. Don't even want to talk about it. We will talk about it a little bit after I do this unbelievable ad read from the best sports book. I'm not just saying that because they sponsor us. I'm not saying it. I use it. I've used it forever since Massachusetts opened up about, a year ago. They've got every type of lines. They've got every type of bets you want. Bet responsibly. Bet only what you can afford. That is it. I've got some exciting news for you hockey fans. I've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to help you the ultimate game day experience. Imagine this. You're a new customer. You deposit a minimum of $5 and you place your initial bet. Well, if the bet doesn't hit, no sweat. You're going to bounce the bet back in the amount of your original bet up to $1,000. Just download DraftKings app and sign up using my promo ELIO, E-L-I-O. The crown is yours. Victor.
Mr. Ice.
How we doing, kid?
Oh, it's an honor to be in between the pipes with you. Do you like what I did there with the in between the pipes?
Listen, I knew you were sharp. Ever since I saw that first video a couple years ago, I followed you. I knew you were sharp. I knew you knew how to do money management, which is huge in hockey or huge in sports. Tell me a little bit about that.
This is most important thing. You could hit. I know guys that could hit. They could go a stretch 60 days, hit 65%, yet they lose money. You have to manage your money. I tell people, you're starting out, you're following someone like you, you're just getting on board. You have 500 in the account, bet 10% a night for a week. So bet $50 for the first week. If at the end of the week you got $625 in your account, bet $62.50 a game. Yep. Bet 10%. If you lose, and then when that runs out, you got your money's worth. Because there is no getting rich in this game. There isn't. You could get hot. You could play a press if you want, but there is no getting rich. You can get lucky on a parlay. But if you're in the grind, you got to bet what you can afford so that you don't send nasty messages to my man, Mr. Ice, on Twitter. People got some nerve.
Well, I know it happens. And listen, it's frustrating to me because I love to fire away. I fire away. But when you get refs like that, 2 goals get taken back. You believe me, I'm pacing the house, not sleeping, taking things to make me sleep. You could use I could have used a horse tranquilizer to get me down last night. It wasn't getting me down. So, but the thing is, I do bet the same almost every game. I bet the same, and I know what I can afford. I know what I bet. We're 58-34. You're going to have 4 or 5 losses in a row. It happens. I don't like to admit it. I want to win one game every night, but sometimes it happens.
I'm the same way, but 58-34. This isn't just this year. I'm following you 3 years now. This is like, you're in a level where not a lot of guys can do it, and you have a lot of pressure. You have a lot of people following you, and I always find it amazing. Like, I hate when people come at you and I see if it bothers you. It's like, why even change your mindset? You're so locked in on it. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't want you second guessing a pick because of something else said. We just want to ride with you. And the real people that are riding are betting amounts they can afford are gonna have enough of a bankroll to sustain a 2-game losing streak. It's like, so the work that you do is unbelievable. Personally, for me, I'm still betting with the original money. I'm up money in my account. I have a separate account I just bet your totals on. So I don't know how anyone's complaining.
The thing is you have to. That's what you have to think about the long haul. You have to think about it. I know the short term, it hurts, but you just try to do it. Try to, look at it a month, 2 months. You can't look at it day to day because you get too frustrated. And I get frustrated too, believe me. It hurts me too.
And just because people found you doesn't mean they have to, jump in with both feet. They can say, let me sit back and monitor this guy for a month and see how he does. Earn a little trust in you. I'm to the point where I fire your games in blindly because now what's going on, I'm so confident in your games. I don't even care if they lose. I'm still playing with money from 22. So
thank you. That helps. I like the board tonight. I really like the board. And the thing that pisses me off is yesterday I knew I really liked the board today. I was ready to fire. But I don't like to do that off a loss. I like to, you know how it is for me. One game a night. PJ, give me a question. Have the refs hold their whistles until playoffs? Yeah, it's the thing about power plays, in my opinion, is you have to get a couple in the first period because it sets up their power play. If you don't get them, and we didn't get our first one, I think, until we got one in the second. But then the other, Columbus only had one. It was a breakup in between periods. You have to be able to have a few power plays. So you get to the third, and then you finally have your first one. You're not ready for it. The team's not ready for it. I don't understand how the refs all of a sudden no power plays the whole game. So yeah, that hurt me last night.
What's up, Mr. Ice? I just have one question for you today. Maybe it's early, but which team do you think will win this year's Stanley Cup? Thank you.
Vic, what do you think about that? Do you have any teams that you like?
I gotta be honest. I think the Devils are going to win it. No, I'm only kidding. I think the Oilers started off so bad, right? And they're able to go through that. Like, I don't know what the odds are because I'm really not a future
Probably
guy,
about
but
7 or 8 to 1.
It's got to be worth the play. I mean, in so many years, I'm rooting for this McDavid to finally break over the hump. Like, you kind of want to root for them. But I don't know. The way they started, people were talking about they were going to trade, break up the team. They had all kinds of problems. Now they are where they are now. They're in really good shape. I think tonight we might even have a Stanley Cup preview, no?
Yeah. So the
Oilers, Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins. So I agree with you on Edmonton. And the thing I feel about in the NHL, you got to lose in the playoffs. You got to have that heartbreak. You got to have that team that just, goes to game 7 and lose. And Edmonton's done 2 years in a row. They've made a run and they've lost, I think, in game 7 and maybe game 6 to the eventual Stanley Cup champs. So I agree. They're as good as anybody. They're gonna have to get through a bit tough West. That is a tough.
Yeah.
I think in the East it's a little bit more Florida top heavy. I don't see anybody in the East right now, but there's still 30 games left. You got the trade deadline, so there's injuries. Florida gets 1 or 2 injuries, or if Bob, their goalie, who's been very streaky but obviously awesome last year in the playoffs, somehow he plays shitty, then it's wide open again.
It's true. Also, the Rangers are red hot right now.
Yeah, Rangers.
With that goalie, you never know.
Yep, you never know. He started off a little bit slow, but you can see him picking it up right now. And that's another team. He gets hot in the playoffs. You're gonna have to beat him 2-1, 3-2. That's a tough way to live. Yeah,
he's experienced too.
What do you think, Vic? Do you have a play tonight that you want to give out?
You telling me to come on the show? I got to come up with something on the ice, win or lose. So maybe a little sprinkle. Don't go crazy on this, but I kind of think the Oilers are in a great spot tonight. The line's minus 135 right now at DraftKings, right? They're coming off of they got 21 goals in their last 4 games. They're coming off of 3 straight on the road. Last time they did that, they had 3 straight road games. Was but back earlier in the month, and they end up winning 8-4 in that game coming home. So they're coming home today. Boston is actually coming off of a 7-game homestand where they went 2-5. They were able to get a win, thank goodness, before the homestand ended. But now it's their first time traveling since January 27th. So it's going to be a tough environment tonight. It's going to be a high-intensity game, 2 really good teams. And 135 Oilers at home is worth the play for me. So I'll sprinkle the Oilers tonight, minus 135.
I agree. Edmonton right now is a juggernaut. Boston has not played great. They had a decent game their last game against Dallas, but at home, I think they were like 2-5 in their games at home. They're off a little bit, and I think you get the worst of the 2 goalies tonight. It's not Swayman, it's the other guy. So I agree with you. I do like Edmonton. I actually do see it sort of high scoring as well. I actually have a play in that game. I have Jake DeBrusk, goal scorer, plus 310. He's always seemed to do well out in Edmonton. I think he scored both times, the last 2 times out in Edmonton. So I have 2 goal scorers. I'm going to give them both right now. I get Jake DeBrusk plus 310. Actually, the other one I'm going to save. For a little bit later. I think that's it. Let's get right into it. I might have multiple plays tonight. I usually don't do this. Let's see how this first play does. And Vic, always, you're one of my favorite guys to follow because you're a real guy. You're a real gambler, and I like what you do. So thanks for coming on.
Anytime, brother. Anything for you, man. Love you.
PJ, let's. Listen, we got one play. We got one huge play. We got Buffalo over 6.5. Buffalo over 6.5. Let's go.